Hello, my name is Rachel Claridge. I'm an international endurance rider and I've been competing in endurance riding for over 20 years. I'm a UKC accredited coach and I'm also a partner within Phoenix Field Arabian Stud. Right. Once the starter has actually signed you off to go and start the competition, you would follow the designated route that you've got on your map. You would also follow fluorescent markers which would be attached to trees or into the hedge line on the left hand side, and if you were going to be turning right there would be two markers on the left very closely together to indicate that you're turning right, or there might be wood chip on the floor, or depending on where you are in the country there might be spray paint on the floor, or there would be wooden plaques with the colour routes, because there might be other competitions going on the same day. So there might be a 20-mile competition which you would be entered for, but then there would be like a 50-mile competition going on as well. So you might be on the red route, but they might be on the yellow route, for instance. So the plaques would then show which colour you were on. So you just need to keep your wits about you and follow your route map and really look around. It's nice to go and look at the countryside you're riding in, but also just make sure you don't miss a marker and end up doing more mileage or less mileage than you anticipated, because that would eliminate you as well. And you would also, if you were lucky enough to have an extra family member who came along to be your crew, if they were a car driver and able to go out en route, they would be able to meet you more or less every sort of 7 to 10 miles and make sure that you and your horse were still together, to offer you and your horses some drink and food whilst out on the competition. Not too much food for the horse, but you can allow them to drink as much as they want. Or if the horse wants to drink out of muddy puddles or water feeders and other things when they're out on the route, please let them do so, because it means that the horse is thirsty and is looking at trying to replace all the electrolytes that it's exerting. So whilst you're out riding, you would follow the route. You would then ride through all the different checkpoints that would be on your map, go through all the road stewards. These are all volunteers, so normally we just go through and sort of give a courteous thank you as you go through. Sometimes you're lucky enough to have gate stewards, but on some of the competitions there is a gate allowance given to you if they are sticky gates to get through. And once you've completed the 20 miles and enjoyed the view and had a nice time and your horse has been nice and relaxed, you'll ride back into the venue, and the finish gate will then give you a card which will then give you a half an hour time limit to get your horses presented to the vet. You can present your horse within that half an hour, but it's up to half an hour to try and get your horses untacked, cleaned off, heart rate back down below 64 beats per minute. So if you do have a stethoscope or a heart rate monitor, if you're lucky enough to have one of those at the end, then you can just check to see whether your horse's heart rate is coming down nicely before you take them back to the vetting, and the vet will then go through the same checks as it did at the start by checking the heart rate is under 64 beats per minute, it's not dehydrated, through the pinch test on the shoulder, and then checking for any new cuts and lumps and bumps, and then finally doing the trot up. And at the end of the competition, they will actually wait another full minute before taking the heart rate again, just to make sure that there's no variance in the heart rate, because the tired horse could potentially go up by having the horses trotted up at the end of the event. So if you take the heart rate before they do the trot up and then after the trot up, just for a bit of a sanity check and to make sure that the horses' hearts are coming down, that they're nice and fit and not showing any sign of fatigue. And once you've passed the final vet, the horses are allowed to then go away and have a good munch and a bucket full of food, whilst you wait for the ride organiser to type up your results and to hopefully issue you with a rosette.